So last night I finally got around to watching Berserk, Deluxe Edition, Volume 6, which encompasses, I think, what volumes is it? Like 14 through 17, I think it is. Yeah, 16, 17, 18. Volume 16, 17, and 18. So, Conviction arc. Like, Guts defeats Rosen. He goes to see Casca again. She's gone, and now he's off to look for her, basically. Abridged. Berserk abridged, you could say. I summed it up in a couple of words. But that really doesn't do this thing justice, because this is the first time that I've consumed a deluxe edition of Berserk that has been entirely new content. For the most part, the first 5 editions were all shit that I've seen already, like Black Swordsman, Golden Age. Like, it's all been adapted into other things. 6, as far as I know, has not. Berserk Volume 6, Deluxe Edition Volume 6, is stuff that hasn't really been adapted. I'm finally seeing characters I've never seen before. I'm finally seeing new things. I'm finally seeing some of the deeper themes of Berserk. And I have to say, I do think this is probably becoming... I do think I'm becoming a true fan of Berserk, for one thing, because like I'm really starting to appreciate like the storyline and characters and the action and stuff like that. Now that the plot has actually truly started going, I appreciate like Guts more as a character. I think he's starting to become more well-rounded and developed, way more interesting, I would say, than he was in the Golden Age arc. Which I think I felt like mostly that was mostly focused on Griffith, right? And I don't quite remember what I said in my video on that one. Again, I'm enjoying Guts more as a character. It's kind of going into a bit more of his mindset and character flaws and things like that. And it's not like the best character development ever, but it does. There are times where, like, in this one in particular, where a lot of the sequences are very poignant, especially the bits with Roseanne and Jill. Jill at the end, where she insists that she wants to go with Guts to get away from her abusive parents. And Guts tells her there is no paradise. Very similar words. It really reminded me of No More Heroes. This is no paradise from death metal. This really interesting philosophical question is this idea that there is something out there for you. You just have to like leave and find it. But people think of this thing as being a specific place or with a specific person. They don't really do anything themselves to go out and find it. You know what I mean? Like Jill in that instance is sort of leaning on Guts to help her find her own happiness. Like, and that's not really something that someone can provide for you. Only you yourself can find that for yourself. Like, it's not. It's a really great theme. I enjoyed it. Legit, that image of like Guts wrapping around Jill. Legit, probably one of my favorite panels in Berserk at the moment. From an emotional standpoint. Again, it was a pretty satisfying conclusion to that specific. I don't want to call it an arc. Like it's all the conviction arc, but it feels rather different. Now we're like, I would almost call like the elf arc, and then like the Holy Knights arc, because like later on it becomes more about these Holy Knights, and that's really, really intriguing me. It's very, very different than what we've been seeing so far. We're going into a bit more like the religion of Berserk and how the church operates and how they like deal with people and like their operations and things like that. Their beliefs and like how they handle certain things. Very, very interesting stuff. A number of interesting characters have come forward about this. Farnese, like the warrior maiden leader of this group, who seems to be a rather sexually frustrated young lady, I must say. Like, I have never seen such like what is with this chick and just like lusting after everything? Like, first she tries hurting herself. She's like a masochist. Like, first she tries hurting herself, then she gets pursued by the rape horse. Then like she comes onto Guts after being possessed. Then she like curls up into a ball and like I think fingers herself. Like, what the fuck is with this chick? Like, come the fuck on. Get someone to fuck you. It's not that hard, girl. Like, shit. Well, like, again, she's supposed to be like some holy woman, like free of desire or some shit. They don't really go into detail about that a whole lot. It's still being built up, and in a lot of ways, I kind of wish she was a more interesting character. I kind of wish she was a more capable leader, for one thing. She seems like the polar up. Like, I complain about Casca being useless. Like, I complain about Casca getting like being on the battlefield and getting raped. Like, I think once a volume in the Golden Age arc, like almost getting raped in the Golden Age arc. Every volume, like, happens every single time. I complained about Casca being useless and nowhere near on par with Guts and Griffith. I felt she was like kind of a love interest, just like someone to save from being raped, basically. And like Farnese feels like she's a replacement for that. It's just like, yeah, Casca's not getting raped right now, so we gotta introduce this new character, this new blonde chick to run around topless and get almost impaled by horsecock. It's just, damn. It's something else for sure. Again, she's an interesting character. I want to know more about her. She definitely has me intrigued. I'm not sure where her character is going to go. Is she going to be relevant? Is she going to be important? Like, I don't understand. Like, it seems to be setting up like this church is corrupt and they're just fucking with people for no reason. Like, oh, you committed a sin, so we're gonna throw you in this over the top torture dungeon. And again, like this is my problem with Berserk, is that like one of my problems with Berserk is that it tries way too hard to be dark. Like, you know what I mean? Like this guy, the leader of the Inquisition, or like the Church Knights, or whoever he is, like he comes in and they're like, oh, this lady is just like, oh, I stole some food for my baby, he's starving, and he's just like, oh, okay, we gotta save this baby's life. So like they do that, they take the baby, they save it, and everything's good, and then he takes the mother and tortures her because she stole to feed the baby. It was again in this over the top dungeon where like everybody is getting like fucked with. It's dumb. Like there's no way around it. There's no justification for this. Like, it is just plain over the top and ridiculous. It's like it almost comes off like they want the church to, they want like everything to be portrayed as like dark as possible. Like, oh no, it's not enough for the king not to want Griffith to have sex with Charlotte. No, he has to be like desperately in love with his own daughter and wants to fuck her. Like, it's like completely unnecessary and makes the character almost look completely inhuman. You know what I mean? It's baffling. Like it just, like, it's not relatable. Like, there's nothing about it that just seems real, like grounded in reality. It's trying way too hard to come off as dark. Like, it just, like, grimdark is the way to describe this. Like, it's laughably ridiculous in a lot of cases. Like the infamous rape horse is just like I'm just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, really? Like, fucking really? Like, everything in Berserk, like, if it's not trying to go out and kill Guts, it's out trying to rape something. It's just, damn, what the fuck? Okay, everybody in Berserk gets raped, at least anyway. I was just ridiculous. But again, I think the best thing about Deluxe, this volume, is that it kind of is beginning to show off like different characters, different kinds of characters. Like for example, Casca, has left behind Godo and Rickert and the daughter, and she's gone off on her own for some reason because she's that fucking stupid. So she goes off on her own and gets taken in by these prostitutes who look after her and take care of her, and it's a really interesting. It's a really interesting sequence where you sort of like get to know a couple of these girls. Luca, who seems to be like this hooker with a heart of gold archetype, and this other girl, Elaine, I think she is, who is some kind of like drug addicted, like nymphomaniac. Like I have no idea what the deal is. Like I think she has like syphilis or something. Like that's kind of what I think what they're implying is like she has some kind of like terrible disease, is about to die, and is like, I don't know, doing all this crazy sex crazed bullshit with I don't even fucking know. Like what is with I don't know what is with these crazy sex cults in Berserk. Like we've seen a couple of these already. Like, are you people so sexually repressed? Like, come the fuck on. You have to get in these crazy like 30 people orgy. Like, come the fuck on. Anyway, so this girl, she takes this guy, and this kind of goes into like what I was talking about when it comes to like these really cool emotional moments in this one, where this girl, she's like, okay, so she's a prostitute, right, and she's with this guy who tries to tell her that he's in love with her because he's just that thirsty for her, I suppose. Don't fall in love with a prostitute. Just don't. So this girl is like, okay, if you really love me, you'll do anything for me. So, like, what she does is that she takes this guy to this underground sex cult and, like, asks him to do all this crazy shit. Like, what does she do? Like, what does she do exactly? It's, like, some sort of, like, crazy drug-filled orgy. Like, I think it's, like, a hallucination. Like, she asks him to kiss, like, some demon's cock and something, and it turns to a snake. And it's like, fucking really? It's not enough to kiss a cock. It has to be a snake, too. And then, like, it ends with the guy, like, jumping into a ravine because it's just too much for him to handle. So he was, like, I think he was willing to kiss a cock. What was the final line for him? Hang on. What the fuck did he do? What was the final line? Hang on. Yeah, what the fuck is the Yeah, I actually don't know why the fuck he finally flips out. She asks him to drink something. Is it like made of babies? Is that what it is? So he'll like kiss cock, but he won't like eat babies. He won't drink babies. Boiled babies or whatever it is. Like, again, it's Berserk. Like, it doesn't... It's ridiculous. Like, in some point... Oh, well, at the end, when he jumps in the ravine, she goes, like... She starts crying, and she's like, I guess you didn't love me after all. That aspect kind of works, but, like, the ridiculous, over-the-top, like, darkness of it all, it's just... It's laughable, you know what I mean? Like, there are parts of this that work... But then there are also parts where you're just like, okay, was that really necessary? Like, was that really... Ugh. I mean, I guess that kind of makes it fun, like, just seeing how ridiculous this gets. But in a lot of ways, it's kind of frustrating, too. You know what I mean? Like, like, really? Fucking... Really? Just... Anyway, this one wasn't too action-packed. I think it's just setting up for shit that happens. Well, the first part when he fights Rosine is pretty intense, but yeah, for the most part, I think it's just setting up the next major conflict. There's going to be more stuff happen. They're setting up another eclipse. I think they're going to imitate the eclipse. I don't know how they're going to do that. Like, you know, doesn't that only happen like once every 528 years or some shit like that? I don't know. Something like that. 128 was it? I'm not sure where 128 came from. So yeah, there's some. It's mostly just building stuff up. I think. Again, I'm disappointed it ended when it did. Like I'm just looking to read more at this point. It needs to continue. Deluxe Edition 7, I think, is coming out in March, so I have like 3 months to wait until the thing continues. I am so apprehensive about what's gonna happen when like I finally get caught up and I finally get to like up to date in the manga and having to deal with like you people and like waiting along with the rest of you for updates. I'm just like, damn, ridiculous. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it's a good build up. Like it set up some pretty interesting new characters. But we haven't. But shit hasn't gotten real yet. At least not until the next volume. I'm expecting things are gonna get really bad in this next one. I'm expecting like more demons to show up, things like that. What's gonna happen to Casca? I suppose. What's gonna happen to all these other like side characters too? I don't know. We don't know yet. I mean, I don't know yet. So again, I'm really excited to read more. I can't wait till March, and I will see you all then. Thank you.